Brace yourselves, folks, because the world of AI video and filmmaking has just been turned completely upside down. In a move that's sure to send shockwaves through the industry, Runway has just dropped a bombshell, the long-awaited release of their highly anticipated Gen-3 model. And let me tell you, this has been a long time coming. The silence from Runway in recent months had us all wondering, but now they've roared back to life with a bang. While other heavy hitters like Kling and Lumalab's Dream Machine made waves, Runway was quietly plotting its next move. They weren't dozing off, they were crafting something colossal. So, let's dive in and check it out. Here we have a prompt of an older man playing piano, lit from the side. The scene aligns with the prompt effectively. Despite the brief glimpse we get of the piano being played, it's evident that the fingers are moving seamlessly across the keys. I'm curious to see a longer demonstration to assess if this consistency is maintained. It appears to be quite promising. Alright, next the prompt is subtle reflections of a woman on the window of a train moving at hyperspeed in a Japanese city. This video showcases a strong understanding of light physics. The way the light reflects on her face and blends with the background is simply beautiful. I can't find any flaws in this one to talk about, so let's move to the next one. Here the prompt is handheld tracking shot following a red balloon floating above the ground in abandoned street. It's truly stunning. The way the sunlight creates a lens flare is captivating. Once more, you can observe a keen comprehension of light physics in action. Next, we have a wide symmetrical shot of a painting in a museum. The camera zooms in close to the painting. This particular instance isn't too complex. Gen-2 was proficient in crafting straightforward zoom-in and panning clips. In this scene, there are no dynamic action sequences. Hence, creating this would likely be a relatively simple task. What's remarkable is its capacity to maintain artistic coherence. As it zooms in, the system seems to intelligently extrapolate additional details, sharpening and enriching features like the facial expressions and the intricacies of the clouds. Here we have a first-person view internal locomotive cab of a train moving at hyperspeed in an old European city. I'm genuinely amazed by the accuracy with which it replicates the alignment of cables, lines, and poles along the railway. The buildings maintain a consistent appearance throughout the video, and the train's dashboard remains coherent without any noticeable shape distortions. It's truly an impressive display. However, there are some challenges with the portrayal of the train tracks. The system may not be rendering them realistically, as there appear to be discrepancies in the number of tracks. Alright, next we have an extreme close-up shot of an ant emerging from its nest. The camera pulls back, revealing a neighborhood beyond the hill. In general, I'm quite impressed with how seamlessly it transitions from a close-up macro shot to a panoramic aerial view of a neighborhood. However, I did notice a detail that caught my attention. The insects depicted don't quite resemble ants. Rather, they seem more like termites. And also there was supposed to be a single ant, not two. But other than that, this is quite an impressive result. Here we have a first-person view of drone shot through a castle on a cliff. I don't think there's anything to say about this one as the result speaks for itself. Everything looks pretty amazing and 100% aligned with the prompt. Simply stunning. Moving on, we have a first-person point of view. Shot rapidly flies through open doors to reveal a surreal waterfall cascading in the middle of the living room. As you can see, it is simply amazing and accurately true to the prompt. The physics of the doors opening is mind-blowing, as well as the waterfall running. One thing that I noticed, though, is that there is some water in the hall before the doors open, and there seem to be two currents on floor one opposite to the other. Not that this changes anything, it just caught my eye. Next, we have one of my favorites, a pencil drawing an architectural plan. If you have attempted to create a video like this before, you are familiar with the frustration of struggling to depict a realistic hand or convey smooth drawing movements. Fortunately, this outcome addresses both of these issues, resulting in a scene that appears convincingly lifelike. One aspect that slightly puzzled me, though, was that initially, the drawing line appears to function smoothly while the pencil is in motion, but then it appears to vanish. Nonetheless, this is a minor flaw that can be overlooked, considering the intricate level of detail in the prompt. Next prompt is an older man in a warehouse. Camera zooms out. This is a good example to showcase character consistency. As you can see in the entire scene, the man remains the same without any distortions or facial changes. Pretty good stuff. Speaking of characters, here we have an astronaut walking between stone buildings. Once again, the character is consistent throughout the scene. And not only that, but the coherence still remains while he is speaking and moves his head around. The building in the background remains consistent as well and true to its size while the camera moves away from it. I would rate that result 10 out of 10. Pretty amazing stuff. Next, we have a middle-aged, sad, bald man. Becomes happy as a wig of curly hair and sunglasses fall suddenly on his head. This one is a pretty dynamic scene, as we not only get the facial expression change from sad to happy in such a realistic way, but also the way the wig and the glasses fall and remain on his head is pretty impressive. Now, you can see some teeth morphing inside the top of his mouth, but overall, the result is mind-blowing. Moving on to an anime scene, the prompt is a Japanese animated film of a young woman standing on a ship and looking back at the camera. Now, I bet most of you are thinking of using this kind of scene for motivational videos. And you are right to do so, as the final result of this prompt is pretty amazing and true to the prompt. So cheer up guys, motivational videos became 10 times easier for you. Next, the prompt is a close-up shot of a young woman driving a car, looking thoughtful, blurred green forest visible through the rainy car window. Now the realism of this scene is undisputed, and I bet you wouldn't think twice that this is a real person driving. Moving forward, the prompt is an aerial shot of a drone, moving fast in a dense green jungle. As you can see, we get exactly that. The movement is fast as prompted, the jungle seems pretty well structured, and I also like the dynamic movement of the camera, which doesn't follow a boring straight line. Speaking of aerial shots, here we have an aerial shot of the ocean. A maelstrom forms in the water, swirling around until it reveals the fiery depths below. I'm simply speechless of this result, from the creativity to details. Everything is 10 out of 10. Next, we have a dragon toucan walking through the Serengeti. To be honest, I've never heard of this animal before, so if that's indeed how it looks, I would say that this is an impressive result. The way it moves is remarkably smooth, with only minor inconsistencies with the legs. Have you ever heard of this animal? Let me know in the comments. Here we have another impressive one, a side profile shot of a woman with fireworks exploding in the distance beyond her. Once again, the realism here is mind-blowing, and the way the lights reflect on her face showcases the attention to detail that Runway has paid to the physics of the lighting. The woman's face, as well as her hair and accessories, remain consistent throughout the scene. Hats off to Runway for this one. Next, the prompt is an empty warehouse, where flowers start blooming from the concrete. Once again, the results are 100% true to the prompt, and the way the flowers partially grow in size and width is simply amazing. What's also notable is the diversity of the flowers, as well as the slight breeze that makes them move realistically. Such a beautiful scene. Here we have a prompt of a woman singing and standing on a concert stage with a bright light in the background. Although this one also looks pretty realistic and awesome at first glance, if you start searching for inconsistencies, you will soon find out that the hands and fingers of the woman are morphing throughout the scene, a problem that has bothered AI since the beginning. Let's hope Runway can address that before the release. Next prompt is handheld tracking shot at night following a dirty blue balloon floating above the ground in an abandoned old European street. In this one, I like the depth field and how the balloon travels not only in a certain height but also moves lower the more it travels. The surrounding buildings are also well lit and consistent throughout the scene, but I would argue that this is a night shot due to the blue color of the sky above. Overall, the result is quite impressive. Moving to the next prompt, a first-person view shot zooms through a tunnel into a vibrant underwater space. This scene truly looks like it came straight out of a movie. The underwater plants look amazing. The bubbles following the camera add an extra touch of realism. The camera movements navigating through the space are smooth, and the coherence throughout the scene is impressive. Moving to the next one, a tsunami moves through an alley in Bulgaria with dynamic movement. If this is what Bulgarian buildings look like, I would say that this is another top-notch generation. The way the tsunami comes in and fills the narrow path is pretty realistic, and the shape it takes, as well as the size it grows to as it moves closer to the camera, is absolutely stunning. While we have seen other generators being able to create good tsunami flooding videos, this one far exceeds whatever I have seen so far. Next, we have an internal window of a train moving at hyperspeed in an old European city. This one would make a good lo-fi video, so if anyone interested in free lo-fi videos, you now know where to generate one. Again, the scene screams realism, once again true to the prompt. The speed at which the train moves and the overall movement of it looks natural and smooth. The city in the background even, though blurry due to the speed, also stays coherent, and the glass of the window looks convincing. Moving to the next prompt, we have a push-through shot of an ocean research outpost. I'm again fascinated by the physics of the doors opening so smoothly, partially revealing the interior of the outpost over time. Now, the objects inside the outpost look okay, but there is some morphing going on. The sea below doesn't look that realistic to me. but the depth of field is quite fascinating in the horizon. Next, we have a close-up shot of a living flame wisp darting through a bustling fantasy market at night. Now, the highlight of this scene should be the flame wisp and its ability to smoothly morph so realistically. But I'm more fascinated by the background in this one. You can see that the background is indeed a bustling market at night. And what's impressive is the detail of the products in the counters, as well as the people performing a variety of actions, maintaining coherence throughout the scene. Simply impressive. I left the best for last. A close-up portrait of a woman lit by the side. The camera pulls back. This one literally sent chills down my spine, as the realism of the woman's face, the body texture and tone, the realistic tattoos, and the consistency throughout the scene really makes you wonder if we will be able to distinguish what is real and what is not. I mean, look at the shadows of her eyes, the shape of her lips, and all of these details are really shocking to say the least. It makes you wonder how long it will take for ordinary people to start creating movies with such characters. Not long, I assume, as the CTO of Runway, Anastasis Germanidis, has revealed that Gen-3 will soon be available in the Runway product. So, stay tuned to my channel, and I will inform you when this will go live, as well as make a walkthrough tutorial about it.